Welcome to 20 at 10 with Nat. I'm your host, Natalie. My special guest tonight is Lindsay Foote. She has made a career of crafting sincere music built around honest lyricism and vibrant arrangements steeped in folk traditions. She was born in Massachusetts but has spent a lot of time in Toronto, entrenching herself in the diverse music scene there. She's released multiple projects, become a two-time finalist in the Canadian Songwriter Competition, and completed significant tours throughout the US and Canada. Also, she's a finalist in Songwriter Serenade this year, which is super exciting. In 2020, she returned to her hometown of Boston and released her latest EP, Roller Coaster. Lindsay also just released a single called Runaway that she both wrote and self-produced during the pandemic, and it's available streaming everywhere. Please welcome my special guest, Lindsay Foote. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being my guest tonight. I'm super excited to have you on.
Me too.
Well, we were just talking about how we're not quite sure how we're connected, but I think I found you on Instagram.
Yes.
Probably through
I believe so.
mutual friends or Songwriter Serenade, actually. I probably saw
Yeah,
you
maybe.
as a finalist there, and then I'm
Right.
a curious person. I'll click around and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you had a video of yourself playing a
Yeah, I
new.
think it was a song. Like I had a snippet of a song, and I think it's funny because I still haven't finished that song the song "Shallow Water." That's what
Yeah,
that song
okay,
is.
that sounds
Right
familiar.
now.
Yes, I think that's
Yeah.
what it was. Well, it was beautiful. Obviously, it caught my ear, and yeah,
Thank
you
you.
should finish it. I'd love to hear the finished
Oh,
version.
I will try. Yeah.
We have some people joining us. Brian and Joanna are definitely here. Joanna said she saw you at Songwriter Serenade a few years
Oh,
ago.
yes.
Cool. Okay, well, I've got lots of questions for you, so let's dive right in.
Perfect. Can't wait.
So, congratulations on Roller Coaster. How does it
Thank
feel to
you.
release something during a pandemic?
Interesting. I released it um, January 31st of 2020. So it
Mm,
was basically like I
6 weeks
released it and then I
before.
had a month-ish of like, you know, playing a lot of shows, doing all like this stuff, all the radio stuff, and I had a tour booked and then and then the pandemic happened and it was just it was very bizarre. Just it felt so weird. It felt very surreal. So, yeah.
Still feels surreal, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it does. It'll feel surreal.
I'd
It's
never gone live until the pandemic.
yeah.
So the
I
fact
don't
that I'm
think I
doing
had
this
either.
now
I don't think I had either. Yeah.
is weird.
But it was
Well,
because my album release show was like the last big, even my friends were talking about it was like the last big event that we all went to that wasn't like
uh,
socially distanced. And then,
mm,
yeah, then it happened. So,
ah,
yeah.
wow. Yeah, I'm just feeling all the things.
I know. Seriously. Yeah.
Well, let's see here. Grabbing my note. So, tell me about Runaway. This is a song you wrote and self produced. What was it like self producing, and what was your biggest takeaway from that experience?
Yeah, it's been really awesome. I got more into production during the pandemic, basically, because I think I just had the time. And which was kind of like a blessing in a way. Um, but yeah, I had been like fiddling. I've always like I kind of knew the basics of how to do it, and then I just decided to like give it a real shot with this one song. And both my brothers are producers, so they were like I get a lot of help from them. It
Okay,
was nice to
cool.
have them as a resource. But yeah, it's a big learning curve for me, just because um, I don't know. I find it hard to learn that those programs and stuff, but so I always like was intimidated by it. But once I like kind of got um like a little more confidence with it, it's been like super fun. And it was really cool to like be in the driver's seat for that
Yeah.
process. And feel like I have more autonomy and just like a bigger understanding of like what goes into it. Getting like a song to the final product.
Yeah. Is there more self-producing in your future and or
Yeah.
you think you would ever produce for other people?
Yeah. I have another song coming out probably in like a month and a half
Mm-hmm.
that I self-produced as well. And yeah, and I'm hoping like, yeah, what I'm thinking ahead is like I would love to produce for other people too. I just I need a little more practice,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like it's just so fun. It's a nice like it's a little different than just like sitting down and writing a song. It like or for me, I
Right.
think like there's a lot more you can do with it. Both are great, but like it gives me another creative outlet, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's cool. What Speaking of songwriting, do you remember writing your first song?
I do. Yeah.
Why? Tell me about that, and do you know why you were writing? Like what prompted you to write a song?
Yeah, I remember vividly because it was my first breakup in ninth grade. So,
Oh.
um, and I was like a little bit heartbroken. And I like always, I already played piano and sang and like, listened to lots of songwriters. And it was just like, it was one of those songs like I sat down and it just like kind of poured out of me. Um, and I really, I got the bug then. I just kept doing it.
Okay, so like instant gratification basically, like writing the song
Yeah.
and like it
Yeah.
felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. Do you still remember it or do you ever play it?
I don't ever play it. I still remember it,
Okay.
but it's a little embarrassing. It's not embarrassing, like, but
They
it's
all are, aren't they? Like the first ones that you do, like they're
yeah,
pure, you know, but like super
yeah,
embarrassing, like
yeah,
super mine are super cliche. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you consider looking back over all the things you've played, like what do you consider to be your first gig? And what do you remember about that experience?
that's a good question.
Like I grew up in church, but I don't consider any of like choir experience
Yeah,
as my first gig.
yeah, yeah. I grew up like yeah, kind of same, not in church, but like singing in lots of groups and stuff. And my parents were musicians, so like sometimes I played a few things like shows that I played with them and sang with them, but I don't really consider that like my like a gig.
Right.
Probably like in college.
Ooh, okay.
It's blurry. Like I don't actually have like a I don't think I have like a memorable first gig because I was
Okay.
playing lots of open mics.
Okay.
I think in
What
college.
even I don't know. I might what was your first open mic experience?
I used to play the open mics at my college. I remember those. And I used to like I was first just like playing covers. Like I used to do Regina Spektor songs, stuff like
Ooh.
that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I started playing the open mics at like a bar in Toronto. And then I think that same bar is where I had my first gig because they had like a best, like they had like a little open mic contest thing. And then they picked like three people and then we got to do like a show.
That's cool. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So playing open mics in college or the first one, were you nervous? Like what do you remember when you maybe when you played your songs, your material for the first time?
A little bit. Like, I think honestly, I've never been like, I haven't got, I'm not, sorry, I don't get that much stage fright.
Mhm.
Um, I think the things that usually made me nervous are like, can I play this on guitar? Or like,
Oh.
can I play the piano right for this? Like, I've never really been gotten as nervous about just like playing my songs. It's more like the actual mechanics of it. Like, am I going to mess up the guitar part or something?
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, because I get nervous about those things too, but I just consider that part of being nervous.
Right.
Because,
Yeah,
like,
I guess that is just part of being nervous. But that
yeah.
I wouldn't say like if I just had to stand up and sing and someone was playing for me, I don't think I'd be very nervous.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. But that's I don't know why.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's great. That's awesome. What, well, one thing I'd like to ask everyone who's on the show is What's your earliest childhood memory of being like kind of captured by a song? Like just in
Mm.
awe of like whatever is in front of you or what you're listening to? Like
Mm.
memorable moment.
I remember being really into, um, this is such a random song.
It
Uh,
the randomest things catch us though, and that's okay.
and it's, what's it called? It's a Celine Dion song.
Ooh, okay.
Um, A New Day Has Come or something like that. I think that's what it's called. I really liked Celine Dion.
Okay. Do you
So I
know
just like liked to sing along with her. I thought she was like an amazing singer,
I mean
and
she
I wanted
is.
to be like a singer when
She
I was,
still is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
like
wait, she made you want to be a singer?
I don't know if she made me want to. I kind of just like I always wanted to be a singer,
Okay.
pretty much as
Okay.
soon as I was. My mom, like my parents are musicians, so like it was kind of part of like my childhood and stuff already. So I kind of already, I guess I already had that, like I knew of that idea. Uh,
That's
but
cool.
yeah, Celine Dion for sure. Um, and then I was like obsessed with in middle school. I was obsessed with John Mayer's first album, Room for Squares,
Ooh.
and I used to like listen to it on my boombox while I was doing my homework every day.
Nice. I like the
Yeah,
boombox reference.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. What kind of changing gears a little bit. What about this past year what has this past year made clear to you about you and music?
Hmm. Definitely that I want to keep doing music. I honestly had like a bit of a quarter life crisis
Yeah.
midway through the pandemic where I was like, should I even keep doing music? I think it was probably just like a combination of everything. And like, it was a tough time, obviously, to be
Yeah.
a musician. And it just like, I don't know, I felt like I lost a lot of momentum and it was hard for me to just like get it back. Um, but I, I kind of, I think it did clarify that I want to keep doing music, even if it's like not, if it doesn't, isn't the exact picture I always had. Like I just, because I'm doing production and stuff now, and like that's been super rewarding and like great. And so I just want to like keep doing it in all kinds of different ways, I think.
Okay. I appreciate that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
felt like it for artists it definitely kind of like was almost like a great sifter of like who's gonna
Yeah.
fall through the cracks and who's gonna stay and like
Yeah.
how do we want to move forward, you know, like
Yeah.
what parts do we want
Exactly.
to what parts do we want to save and take with us and what parts do we want to leave behind.
Yeah.
It's been really interesting. I
Yeah.
definitely have several friends, musicians who are like, I think I'm done. I'm like, really?
Yeah. And
Okay.
no,
Okay.
totally.
So
I
it's
mean,
been
yeah.
a big reset, you know, like
I,
if anyone was
yeah.
considering retiring, this would have been
Yeah.
the perfect time.
Yeah. And I get that. Definitely.
Yeah.
I get,
Well,
yeah.
kind of along those lines, like what is something that you want to accomplish in the next 5 years?
Mm. I would love to just, yeah, I would love to work with like, I would love to move. I still want to do my own music and perform and like do that whole thing. I like love that so much and keep writing my own stuff. But I would love to do production as well, like
Ooh,
move
okay.
into working with other singer songwriters,
Okay.
um, namely like female singer songwriters. Also, I mean, anyone really, but it would be awesome to work with some amazing women.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then this is my last question for the moment. What about music brings you the most joy? Like from just being a listener to writing and creating music to
Mm,
producing to performing to teaching, like what aspect
yeah.
of music brings you the most joy?
There's like there's so many different parts,
I
honestly,
know.
that all bring different they all have their own things. That's tough.
What would you say today then?
Yeah, today I would probably say like moments where it this sounds corny, but like moments where it brings people together and like a moment of connection. And that I can like sometimes that happens in a live show because it feels like you're all experiencing this thing together and it's like a really amazing moment. And sometimes it's smaller. Like the other night I ended up playing songs on my porch with my roommates, and they're not like musicians, but they just like to sing, and like
Yeah.
we do that and for fun. And like I actually got into that more during the pandemic. We started doing that, which was really nice because I'm just like, I don't know, I honestly didn't do that much. Just like sitting down and playing songs with my friends. I didn't do that as much like before we were like stuck in the house and had like nothing to do. And it was like really um, special and like so fun.
I'm glad.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. I love it when it's a group of musicians and a guitar gets passed around.
mhm.
And all of a sudden you get to hear each other. Because oftentimes the problem with musicians, or the problem with being a musician, is that you're often not there. You're not present because you're
Yeah.
somewhere else. You're on the road or you're playing a show, or
Mhm.
it's hard to like actually make it out to other people's shows because, like, Lord willing, you're playing your own shows,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so those moments I think are really special when you get to share songs with each other because maybe there's a new song
Yeah.
and maybe that moment of connection resonates really deeply with another songwriter, and it's not just about playing in a performance hall with an audience,
Mhm.
although that is very special,
Yeah.
but I think it's also very special to be able to play with other musicians, not
Yeah.
as a
Oh,
performance, just
absolutely.
as a
Yeah.
moment of, yeah, I love that, the moment of connection.
Yeah.
And I think that drives a lot of us as musicians is
Mhm.
I describe it as music is one of the few things that crosses all boundaries. Doesn't matter your country, your language, what food you eat, what religion you have, what political viewpoints you hold. Like, music can go beyond all borders
Mhm.
and all boundaries. And so that's what I love and think is really powerful about music. And it
Yeah.
has the possibility to build bridges across all of those
Totally.
borders and boundaries and chasms between us as people. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Totally.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, are you ready for my random questions from this board
I'm
game?
ready. I'm
Okay.
ready. Can't
Have
wait.
you ever flown in a helicopter?
No.
Have you
Don't.
ever eaten a full size package of Oreos in one sitting?
Probably. Yeah. I feel like I've definitely come close.
I don't open them by myself. I make sure there's other
Mhm.
people around, or it's possible that I will.
Mhm.
Have you ever crashed a wedding?
No. No.
Have you ever told someone they tasted good? That's kind of an odd question.
Um, I don't know.
I feel like I'm getting a bunch of duds. Have you ever had an accident in someone else's car?
No.
Oh,
What
good for
kind of,
you.
are we like,
It could be a golf cart, a go kart, I don't know, a car.
no, I have not. Yeah.
Good. Congratulations.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, have you ever binge watched a series in one day?
Yes. 100%. Several times.
Okay, what series?
Oh, I've binge watched so many. Recently, um, The Queen's Gambit, though I don't, that might have been like 2 days. That was so good.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That series.
Yeah. Oh, and then I just recently did, what's it called? I forget the name of it. It's a French show.
French show.
Yeah. It's about movie producers.
Oh, I haven't it's been a minute since I've sat down to just like watch
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
The last few weeks, months have been a little crazy, but
Mm.
is it new or is it a series that's been around for
It's
a minute?
new, but I'm not going to find it. It's
Okay.
lost from my brain. So,
Well, if you think about it later, you're welcome to. Okay. Do you have a question for me?
oh, yeah. I want to hear about your new album. So I saw your Kickstarter is 100% funded.
It is.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's so
you.
exciting.
I know, I'm like,
Yeah.
so,
Is it still active, your Kickstarter?
no, it
No. Okay.
closed a week ago today.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. So is it recorded already? Or are you,
No,
and
I
you,
leave Friday to go to
right,
Nashville.
right. And you're doing it all then. Are you going to record
Yes,
it all in like one big thing? Or
I
what's your
believe
process?
so. Well, the process as I understand it, I'm not there yet, like in the studio, but
Mhm.
we'll be in the studio. I'll be in Nashville for a couple weeks total, but the actual days we'll be in the studio will be 6 days.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, and most of the tracking will happen the first 4 days.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a little break, and then I'll go back in for 2 more days. And that'll mostly be like, I'm assuming cleaning up things and or
Hmm.
recording harmonies or other things
Yeah.
we're missing. Um, that's, as I understand it, the game plan.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm really
And
excited. This is my
what?
first full length.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't done a full length.
Yeah, I've just done an EP before now, which is a great
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
So I'm just like kind of in awe of how we can record so many songs in such a short amount of time, to be
Yeah.
honest. And I'm like,
Yeah.
we're only gonna be in the studio 6 days? Okay. Like, I mean, everyone it seems like everyone that you run
Yeah.
into in Nashville is an amazing musician.
Totally.
So it's a
Yeah.
completely different, not completely different, but it's a different ball game up there
Mhm.
than, down in Austin. There are a ton of musicians here in Austin, but just the studio game is different.
Right. Yeah. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
What are your goals for the album? I know that's a big question, but
Ooh, more details. What do you mean?
sound wise or like,
Oh,
yeah.
I I sent Mary a playlist of my favorite sounds.
Hmm.
And those are songs that I've gotten into over the past year or songs that I have liked for a really long time.
Hmm.
And so like I think it's Aaron Lee Tasjian, right? Is on one of his songs is on there.
Hmm.
David Ramirez from his album last
Hmm.
summer. My Love is a Hurricane. A couple of those tracks are on there.
Cool. Yeah.
Israel Nash from his Lifted album. A couple tracks are on there.
Hmm.
Um, I have a couple First Aid Kit tracks, a couple
Cool.
Adele tracks. Like
Yeah.
I'm always collecting sounds that I like, and so this
Yeah.
this playlist is not as extensive as the playlist I sent Brian for my EP. Um, I sent him an email with like this Emmylou Harris song. I like the ooze at this
Oh my
timestamp and
gosh.
this
Yeah.
timestamp, and this Adele song. I love the drums, and
Yeah.
or I love the little piano addition at the very end. This is timestamp.
Yeah.
Um, but I gave that to Mary a long time ago, and so honestly, that's one thing we haven't chatted about recently. We've chatted more about tightening up some of the songs this week.
Mm. Yeah.
So I have a list of things to look at in the songs,
Yeah. Yeah.
and other goals. I think we already narrowed down the tracks
Hmm.
to 10, and so I feel like this project is different. I both know more and I feel like I know less at the same time when it comes to this particular project. And like I don't fully have in my brain the final sound,
Yeah.
I think
That
that
makes
will
sense.
that will happen in studio.
Yeah.
And I think partly makes me a little nervous, like I don't know. But like the cool thing about following your ears and listening to what your producer has done in the past is that if you like what they've done in the past, you're going to like what they do in the future too.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
so, yeah, I don't know. I'm just really excited
Yeah.
to like
Yeah. That
it.
sounds like it's going to be so fun.
It's been since 2018, really, since I've been in the studio to
Yeah.
to produce a piece of music.
Yeah.
So like it's been a minute.
Yeah.
That's 3 years. This is a long time.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just getting like the nervousness of like haven't been in the studio in a long
Totally.
time. It feels like the
Totally.
first time.
Yeah.
And it's Nashville, so that feels super exciting and special.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah. Sounds like it's going to be a very special time.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
A couple of the songs are way more story centric than my songs have been in the past.
Mm.
A lot of my songs tend to focus on describing a moment or the emotional truth that I'm
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
And there are a couple that describe a series of events, like a story. Like there's a story arc. And
Yeah.
that's different than most of the songs that I write. And so I'm super
Yes.
curious how those will develop into the album.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
I've been learning how, as a songwriter, m- my mind can be small in terms of how a song can sound. And
Hmm.
so I'm excited to see what Mary does with them
Right.
production wise,
Yeah.
because in my head, the way I've written one of the songs, I'm like, I don't know that I could see it any other way than like a folk or a country song. Like,
Yeah.
will it fit on this album?
Right.
Like I
Right.
wrote a song about my grandma, and I feel like it's maybe the most different song of all of the songs, but I
Yeah.
feel very strongly that it has to be on the album.
Hmm.
Like it needs to be out there because it has just, as I've been playing more over the last few months out with people
Yeah.
live,
Yeah.
that's the song that lands with people.
Yeah.
That's the song that people come up and say, "Was this your lyric?" And they're quoting lyrics back at me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like sometimes that happens, and that's,
Yeah.
people are actually listening, but like that song in
Yeah.
particular like lands
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
And I'm
Totally.
like, I can't leave that out if it's deeply resonating with people, you know?
Well, sometimes I feel like also it's okay. Like I can think of a lot of albums where there's like one or two songs where I'm like, oh, it's not the exact like vibe necessarily of the rest of the album, but it's almost like nice that it's there.
Yeah. A
It's
little
like
variety.
a breath of fresh air.
Well, we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great.
Wow, I have totally been neglecting the comments. I'm so sorry. Chris has joined us. Let me check in. Wow, they were. Wow, Oh, I had my notes and it was covering the comment feed. So
Oh wait,
sorry,
I didn't
guys.
even open the comments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joanna's been. Uh, hold on. Let's catch up. Brian and Joanna have contributed a lot. Oh, Becca was here. Do you speak French?
No.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, Nathan.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Sorry I abandoned you for a moment. Hey Jim. Brian says, let's see, I guess that one's for me. When you get back, curious who your Nashville Sessions players are. I'm super curious too. Supposedly, Megan Coleman is supposed to be one of those players. She's a drummer, and then if it all works out, because anything could happen, I think she's like, we have her for one day, and then she goes on tour with Yola the next day. This was like, we have her for like 2 seconds. Let's see. Okay. Well, I'll make myself answer a couple of these crazy
Ooh, fun.
questions.
Okay.
And then do you have a song ready that you'd like to play for us?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. Have I ever won a sweepstakes? Probably, but the thing is, I'm a sucker for entering sweepstakes, but I mean,
I've
the
never
odds are
entered.
never in your favor.
Yeah.
Have I avoided interacting with someone by pretending I didn't see them? Yes. But I don't have any excuses for that. It was probably like a grocery store or like a possibly at an event or a show.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if you get social anxiety, but sometimes I just feel very socially overwhelmed.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um,
I do for sure.
so if I can't, or if I recently had an interaction with them that made me uncomfortable, I just can't, like,
Yeah.
I'll just like might leave early or might do
Yeah.
something else or go in the next
The
room or whatever. Yeah.
good Irish goodbye, is that what it's called? When you just leave without saying goodbye.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I just recently talked with some friends about this, the Irish goodbye. And pre-pandemic, I was getting good at this. It's like a not an abbreviated version of the Irish goodbye. That would be, I don't know what that would be, but like a hybrid version of the
Right.
Irish goodbye where like I will go if I'm talking with someone right there, I'll be like probably going to leave soon, but good to see y'all or something.
Yeah.
And then or like, you know, I exit the conversation. Maybe I'm going to go get a drink or whatever. And I do, or whatever. But I make sure and say goodbye to the host. I feel like that's very important.
I think that's the way to go. Yeah.
And then once I say goodbye to the host knows I'm leaving. So I just leave.
Yeah.
And then
And
like
then
everyone
the host
else,
will
like,
share the news with
yeah,
anyone else. Yeah.
if there was an important conversation or like there's someone that I just feel really strongly like I need to stay in touch with them and I just met them, I might find them and give them a business card or something. Or like, I don't like just, I don't know, really like exchange numbers unless I'm super comfortable with that person, but it's more like just some kind of point of contact.
Right.
And then I'm out.
Yeah.
But you have to, or then my goodbyes take like an hour.
I know.
And that's fine. It's just like the whole point of leaving was because probably for me, I'm like, I probably need to go to bed so I can get up and do that thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Man, I think a lot of musicians are just very socially awkward or have social anxiety or like are easily overwhelmed. It's
That's true, which is funny because I feel like we have to be so social.
Yeah, and it is super weird to me how many musicians are actually very introverted but get out on a stage all the time.
Yeah. It's
And
different.
it is different. You're in control of the situation and
Yeah.
you're not fielding multiple questions at once and you understand the expectation of you. Like there's some things like that all makes sense to me. But it's just funny cuz like I'm an extrovert. I get my energy from being around people, but I'm shy.
Yeah.
And I get nervous on stage.
Interesting. Yeah.
So not all the time, but many times. So
yeah, I'm an introvert more, and I would say I don't get that nervous on stage. I mean, I do like about certain things, like logistical things, kind of.
Yeah, that
Sometimes,
makes
or
sense.
like something really important, but yeah, I don't. So that's interesting. I don't know.
I think logistical things will stress me out too. Like, I like if there's a mic issue or like
that.
the sound guy is grumpy.
Yeah.
And like looking at you like you've caused the mess or whatever. And
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Cool.
Totally. Yeah.
Or someone in the band is super late and you're like, I hope they're gonna be here.
Yeah.
Like those things stress me out.
That definitely stresses me out for sure.
Yeah. Well, here's to hoping that we're stressed out a lot more because that means we'll be playing more shows.
Seriously. Yeah.
Okay, what song are you gonna play us?
I think I will play Runaway, which is my new song that is out on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no.
Do you want to have the screen to yourself or would you like me to hang out with you on screen? Forgot to ask you that earlier.
Oh, I don't care. You can hang out with me.
Okay, I might sway a little bit, but I'm going to mute myself and turn your sound to
perfect
cancellation off. All right.
Cool. All right. This is Runaway.
It's like you ran away from me, but only partly. It's like I showed my hand too soon, showed my heart too true. It stung you, so you could take or leave me, and I made the taking easy. You offer so little, I don't expect anything at all, and I'm folding my clothes in my bedroom. I'm missing something we tasted. You ran Well, I feel so foolish now. I care enough to be let down, and I hate that I can't win. I hate that I'm hurting, and I'm folding my clothes in my bedroom. I'm missing something you tasted. You went in, I chased it. It's hard comprehending your contradictions, your closeness, your distance. All you did, all you didn't. You coming like you mean to stay, then run away. Coming like you mean to stay, then run away, run away. Thank you. Yay. I had to turn the echo cancellation off and turn it on really quick so I wouldn't echo. But yay. Also, look who's here.
I know, I
Fran.
saw Joel. Hi, Joel.
Thanks, everybody. Hey, Joel. Joel's going to be my guest in a few weeks. We're going to do a Saturday morning. Okay. Yes, so many claps.
So nice. Thank you.
Responses. Yeah. It's a really beautiful song. I have questions. Do you ever talk about the song, like what it means, or do you like kind of?
I do. I mean,
personal.
I do for some songs. I honestly haven't really played this one out because like I wrote it during the pandemic.
Right.
So I haven't really talked about it too much. Yeah.
Would you like to not talk about it, or do you want to talk about it a little bit? It seems personal. I don't want to push in too much.
No, it's kind of just like it's a song. How can I describe it? I mean, it's basically a song about like a heartbreak.
That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, this song is going, it's not quite heartbreak, but it's frustration in a friendship. And I have a couple songs about ultimately friendship, but like you can only love someone as much as they let you. And I don't mean romantic love. I just mean like loving someone as a friend, like being a good friend to someone.
Mm-hmm.
And this song kind of expresses the frustration of a friend not letting me love them, not letting anyone love them.
Yeah.
It's called I Give a Damn. I'm not your mother, I'm not your lover, I've got no built-in rights. I'm not your father, I'm not your doctor, but I can tell it's serious. Don't say you'll be there soon when you're in a hospital room. I love a good joke, but this one isn't funny. You've got a broken heart. You've got a fucking start letting your friends give a damn. Oh, because I'm a friend and I care about you, dear. I wish that you cared more about you too. 'Cause if you don't care, the battle is twice as hard. 'Cause I have to fight you and try to convince you that you're worth it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm not your mother, I'm not your lover. Oh, but honey, I give a damn.
Yay! Wow, I loved that.
Thank you. Yeah,
I
Joanna.
definitely connect with that song.
Yeah, it's hard to convince some folks that they're worth, like, and sometimes I think it's because they don't love themselves enough to let you love them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That might sound weird to say, but that's one of the things that I feel like I discovered in that. Thanks,
Yeah,
Jim.
I think that's right.
Yeah. Well, oh, thanks, guys. Thanks, Jim, Chris. Well, Lindsay, thank you so much for spending the evening with me. I know it's an hour later where you are. I
Thank
really
you for
appreciate it.
having me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
And
so happy to meet you and
yeah,
chat.
technically, this is our first meeting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I hope that we meet in person someday soon.
me too.
And
Yeah,
all the best on your upcoming releases, on your
thank you.
venturing out into production land.
Thank you.
I'm very excited for you. And yeah, I want you to keep me posted on the happenings.
I will. Yeah, we'll stay in touch.
Awesome.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope you all have a good night. This will be my last 20 at 10 for a couple of weeks just because the next couple of weeks is Nashville. And I didn't want to stretch myself too thin. So I'll be back at the end of June with episode 200, which is Larry Joe Taylor. So I'll be posting about it on social media. Don't worry. And yeah, you'll have a great night. Bye, everybody.